So this is the new Drill Doctor 750X, and it can sharpen up to 3/4 inch drill bits. I've already been testing this thing a little, and so I'm going to show you guys a few things that I've learned about it. So fairly detailed instructions it comes with. There's also the Drill Doctor 500X out there, which is available, but I think that one can only sharpen up to 1/2 inch bits. So that kind of made sense to me then, that I wanted to get the 750 because it gives me more options for sharpening. It comes with a fairly nice plastic carrying case. Okay, so this drill bit has now got some serious problems because I ground the edge off. So it looks like it's actually a fair amount of material now that I'm going to have to take off. So years ago I worked with a guy. He was really good at sharpening drill bits by hand, and I'll show you what he was doing. So I've had also some success sharpening drill bits by hand, but it only works for me if I use larger bits where I can clearly see the factory shape of it. And the thing is, if I sharpen it a couple of times, then I start to lose the factory point, like the angles and stuff, and then after a while then it's just, you know, I just don't have a bit that works well for me. So anyways, I'm going to sharpen this one a little bit, not enough to take all that flat spot off. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the factory edge on the side of the stone on a spot where it is still fairly straight. So I'm going to line it up nice before I start to put pressure on it, and I'm going to start on the non-cutting side. I'm just going to put a bit of pressure on it, and then I'm going to roll it up and kind of like give it a little flick like that at the end, and not spend too much time on the cutting edge because I don't want to take, you know, and dull that off. So it's kind of like a, see, it's kind of like a flicking thing like that. So there's probably some of you old-timer pros out there that could show me a few things about sharpening by hand. But I'm just going to do one little sample here for you guys. And I can still see there's flat edges there. So between me cutting the cutting edge right off, see, and as you see how it's got a flat spot right there, and now this thing, it's not looking very factory on the end here anymore. I'm going to test this thing, see what happens. So I kind of like to do a before and after with that Drill Doctor. So before I sharpen it, this is what it's like. It's actually cutting. I'm actually getting some, it's actually cutting for me a little bit. All the abuse that I gave it, because it sure doesn't look very nice on the, but I'm also putting quite a bit of pressure on to make it cut. Oh, I could actually drill a hole through there. It's amazing. So earlier in the video I made this bit dull on purpose just to test the Drill Doctor. You can see the flat spot there on the cutting edge. So that's why I was rather surprised this thing is actually still drilling a hole. I'm just going to slide that drill bit into the chuck here, and I'll tighten it up a little bit, but I still want it to be able to slide freely. It's just kind of in position now. So here on this side of the machine you can see several notches with a plus and a minus, And that's for setting the relief angle. And I'm just going to read to you in the instructions what it says about that. So it says, by increasing the relief angle, you can increase the speed of the drill in softer materials. To improve the quality of the hole, you can adjust the drill to be less aggressive. A less aggressive drill has a lower chisel and relief angle. Okay, so, and I'm just going to be working with the standard settings, so straight up and down. So now here on the chuck, you can see two tabs, and I'm going to use either one of those, and I'm going to put that into the 12 o'clock position, and I'm going to insert that in here, straight up and down. So because there was notches in there for setting the relief angle, I could actually go, you know, I can go plus or minus, but I'm just going straight up and down, standard setting. Now I'm going to open up these clamp arms so I can set this drill bit to the chuck. So the drill bit is still loose, so I can turn it nice, and I want to set those clamp arms to the tightest point possible on that bit. So I can turn that bit. You can see here that's okay. So that's about as tight of a spot as I can find on that bit. That's the narrowest part, and I've also got the drill bit pushed in as far as it wants to go. So from here I can make sure everything is in all the way. Drill bit is up against the stop. So here, now I'll be able to tighten up this chuck more. Okay, so now I've got that drill bit lined up properly with the chuck. So at this end of the machine, there is an adjustment for a drill bit angle itself. So from 135, looks like I could actually go beyond that, and then down to 118 and even under that. So 135, that's better for hard materials like stainless, but probably all of my drill bits are set at 118 or right around there. So that's where I'm going to set it, and I can lock it in place here. Okay, so on this chuck there's two cams that I can see. One where that white mark is, you can see it runs up along here like that. And there's another cam, if you look at it from the side, right here. You can see it kind of coming out of there. And those two cams, they run on this part of the machine. You can see this thing actually, it rocks. See how that rocks around? So one of the cams runs on here, and the other one pushes against this pin, and then it does the action for you. Like as you turn it, it just does puts that shape onto the bit. So it doesn't really require a lot of skill here. You just hold it in there and lightly put some pressure on it and just give it a turn, and then it takes care of itself. So I'm going to be lining up the white mark now with where that pin is. Okay, that's where I start, and then I give it a half a turn. So another thing, I'm going to count the turns. I want to keep even numbers. So if I grind it, you know, 6 times, then I know each cutting edge has got 3 cuts on it. White mark. So it looks like I've already got my cutting edge back. That side. This side looks pretty good. And if I look here at the chisel point, I think that looks normal. And but one thing I can see is I did take quite a bit of the heel material off of this bit when I was sharpening it by hand. So that hasn't come back yet, but that's not nearly as important as the cutting edge. Okay, so I did some more sharpening on this bit, and it looks like I've got the heel back to more where it should be. I don't think it's still perfect, but it's pretty good now. But anyways, now I'm going to split that point, and I normally don't split them. I just sharpen them and then go. But a split point drill bit will walk around less, and overall it should be less effort to actually drill that hole. So this machine comes with a plug here on the side. I have to remove that if I want to have access to the grindstone to split the point. So the drill bit is still in the chuck and it's still oriented correctly. There's a reference mark that's on the machine right here. And I have to line that mark up with the white mark here that's on the chuck. So I'll just get that ready. Okay, I think I'm going to test this thing in a handheld drill, and I'll see how much this bit wants to walk around. Well, that seems to be all right. Okay, so it might seem like kind of like an epic procedure just to sharpen a drill bit, but I've been like stopping to explain and stuff. And all. This time I'm gonna just go through the procedure without stopping. So a drill bit in. Fire them up. So, and then from there I would have the option to split the point if I want to. So I'm not sure how long that took, maybe 20 seconds. But anyways guys, thanks for checking in.